Hello, welcome back with one more session that's called sentence correction. Here we will discuss some more ideas, some more tips, some more tricks, and best and easiest way of solving sentence correction. Now, this is the platform where you can take a lot of advantages. That's called a free advantage. So little attention, but more information. That is for you from EduShastra. Now we will do and start, but before the question, there are some ideas that what to do with the sentence correction. It is not that much tough if you understand the passage first. So the first, read, understand patiently and find out the error and try to observe original meaning, because in the sentence where the choices are given, we have to locate that original sense. So this is the first priority. Here in the slides, for your information, for your better understanding, some words are highlighted and some words will be told orally. So you have to be very attentive. And of course, whatever the grammar is used, it will be explained in detail. So it will be really a great informative for you. Now, just your attention will help you to get the idea of all sentence correction. So the first, as I said, it should be started with reading. So the first reading and then find out the error and of course try and apply in the all. But remember, sentence correction means grammar first and after that meaning. So those who try to understand meaning first and then start locating face always difficulties. Your smartness of understanding should fit with reading comprehension, not with sentence correction. Sentence correction means only grammar. And after that understanding, here we are going to do first question. So the first is, although the sting of yellow ants are rarely dangerous, they cause flash injury, causing the greatest danger to the infant and elderly who are particularly vulnerable to its poison. Whenever we talk about although, and of course we should be very alert about although it's mean it is a clause and it should continue. That's called continuous clause. So the second part should be the same what the subject is used in the first part. It's a very common rule, and that's called understanding of the reading sentences. Once we read the first sentence, we start making up mind that what the rule can be fit here. As I told, two very common rules that can be used for all sentence correction. The first is tap, that's called tenses, agreement, pronoun. The second is MP, that's called modifier and parallelism. These are the five things that you can apply while you are reading sentence. So here the first, as I told, agreement, that's called a part of the tab. Sting of yellow ants are. So sting is singular and it is plural. Why is this a subject? Because whenever the group of words are attached with preposition, the word before first preposition is considered subject. That's why the sting is subject and the verb should be is. Rarely dangerous, they cause what? It is ants or sting. Sting cause, as I told. So sting, as I talked about, that the although means the subject should be repeated. So they means sting cause flash injury, causing the greatest danger to the infant and elderly who are particularly vulnerable to its poison. Exactly. So we can eliminate A here because of the pronoun, and of course now A can be eliminated. B, yellow ants are the same problem. In general, in a real test, we should just look at the one error and we should eliminate. We should not wait for the another errors. But to understand well, we should talk about all the possibilities that is given in the sentence. So the first error we found are. Second, they, the same what we found, because we the subject is sting and sting cause flash, so it should be it causes flash. And another error, as we talk about the poison, it's called sting's poison, not the ants poison. Ants is not poison at all. So sting of ants is poison. Here, dear should not be used. So two errors of pronoun, one error is subject verb agreement. So we can eliminate B. C. Yellow ant is rarely fatal. It causes flash injury. You know that injury is itself a verb and it causes injury, not injured. So pronoun is fine, verb is fine, causing the greatest danger to the infant and elderly who are particularly vulnerable to deer. Another error we found, pronoun deer. As I told, the subject is sting, it should be it, so we can eliminate C. Now, the yellow ant is subject verb agreement is fine. It causes chronic flash wounds and the greatest danger to infants and the elderly who are particularly vulnerable to its poison. Correct? Exactly this is looking for, but we will say we will not verify until we look at the last option. The yellow ant is rarely dangerous. Subject verb agreement is fine. They cause the same repeated error, that's called pronoun error. So they know it should be it. So we can eliminate A. D is the correct choice. Question number 2. Ravindra possessed powers of observation that would have made him a great sociologist, and that causes his pamphlets as a group the enemy of the best novels of the time. Look at here, you can look at the parallelism part. Possessed powers of observation. So possessed would have made him a great sociologist. And possessed power, actually that's called power, possessed power would have made him a great sociologist, and powers cause his pamphlets as a group the enemy of the best novel of the time. So two errors we can found. Causes, as we know that we are talking about powers and that effect of the powers. So here it should be cause because pillar to pillar. So we can eliminate A. Now B. Causes the same subject verb agreement. Though, as I told that, one error is enough to eliminate the sentence, but to understand better, we should use another part of it. That's called 1 2. Now it should be the enemy of, not grow. 1 2 enemy, the best novels of the time. That's called ridiculous, the part of it. So B can be eliminated. C. Causes his pamphlets a group enmity. As all the sequence of the same subject verb agreement, powers cause his pamphlets a group enmity. So we can eliminate one more word is missing actually. It should be the pamphlets as a group enmity. By the way, we can eliminate C. D. Causes. Now subject verb agreement is fine. That's called the correct parallelism. What that powers of observation that would have made him a great socialist, and that I mean to say powers cause his pamphlets a group of the enemy. Now D is fine. E. Cause his pamphlets as a group which is the enemy of. Very general rule about this modifiers, that and which both are used as a modifier, but very common, very simple. Before that, we never put comma, but before which there must be comma. That's called thumb rule. Though in GMAT, there is no thumb rule, but there are some particular areas, certain words where thumb rule applies. The same here, that which means comma. Nobody can deny it. No grammar can refuse this fact, so we can eliminate E. Correct answer is D. D. Raja and Sonam Singh, a colleague medical team, worked steadily and efficiently through the night. But taking her tea the next day, she observed that he sounded confused. As the subject is Raja and Sonam Singh, it should be they taking her tea, no, taking their tea the next day. She observed that, so we can eliminate taking her tea, no, taking their tea the next day. We can eliminate A. Now option is B. So B says taking their tea the next day. All right. So first part of the sentence, that's called modifier, is fine. He sounded to be confused, she observed. In general, in the most of the cases, we avoid to be plus ed, that's called passive form. In general, GMAT accepts active forms rather than passive forms. So we can eliminate, of course, B. The one reason is enough, but there is one more missing. The sequence of the sentence should be she observed. She observed that he sounded. So we can eliminate B. C. As they took their tea the next day, she observed that he sounded confused. All right. There's no issue with it. So D. as they were taking tea. As I told that in general, we never use past continuous. There must be some proof of it because it shows action at particular time. Should be in process. So one finished action and then one process action. So here it is not at all exactly the same. As they were taking the tea the next day, he sounded, she observed, confused. As I told that, was taking the first error, and of course that is missing. So we can eliminate D, we can eliminate D, and we have left with one more choice. He sounded confused, she observed, taking their tea. The same problem that I was talking about, the conjunction part, that is missing in all the choices. It should be that in between the sentence. The correct sentence should be, but taking their tea next day, she observed that he sounded confused. So it can be eliminated. C is the correct choice. Question number 4. Timon Thapchey was one of the first Peruvian writers to think the rural poor to be legitimate topics for literature and portray these with love and honor in her drama. All right, look at the sentence sequence. Timon Thapchey was one of the first Peruvian writers to think the rural poor to be legitimate topics for literature and to portray. So here literature and portray, because portray is verb, it cannot be for literature. So here it's called, the parallelism is writers to think the rural to portray this. So here one is missing, and of course to be legitimate topics should not be here. So we can eliminate that part, and these we can look at that. These means what? Of course, whenever you talk about this pronoun, it should be with one noun exactly. So here, these means topics. So the word should be clear because this is not clear, giving the sense that what it is talking about. Now, A can be eliminated. B should be legitimate topics for literature and portray these. The same repeated problem with the A, little differences that should be legitimate topics. Remember that it doesn't need any extra subject. Rural poor should be legitimate. No, the sequence should be rural poor legitimate topics with the correct one. So B can be eliminated. C, as being legitimate. In general sense, whenever we look at being, we avoid, but there are two problems. Of course, the first is being legitimate, the second is portraying. It should be to portray. That's called incorrect parallelism. We can eliminate C. D, as if they were legitimate. You know that the mood about that whenever we use as if plus past form is when it's a conditional sentence. There unreal situation is explained. So here, unreal plus real is not possible. The two unreal situation can be explained by the authors. So we can, and of course, parallelism issues here. We can eliminate D. Now, E. Legitimate topics for literature and portray them. Now look at the sentence. The Timon Thapchey was one of the first Peruvian writers to think the rural legitimate topics for literature and writers to think portray them with the love and honor in the drama. So E is the correct choice. Now question number 5. In the mid 1970s, as 1970s, a newly developed radar alarming system mistook the rising of the Mars as a massive missile invasion by the Chinese. Now you can look at that, the whole sentence, as a massive missile invasion by the Chinese. As it's by the Chinese, it should be passive form, and passive form must contain ed verb. That's called past participle. So we can eliminate A. Now B. Rising of the Mars for a massive Chinese missile invasion. Now the meaning is what? In mid 1970s, newly developed radar alarming system mistook the rising of Mars for a massive Chinese missile invasion. The meaning is very clear. So there is no error till now. We can reserve it. We can move toward the C. Mars rising. Mistook the Mars rising to a massive missile invasion. So here Mars is rising to become a massive missile, and again the passive form. So the whole sentence is distorting the meaning. So we can eliminate C. D. Mars as it was rising for a massive Chinese missile invasion. Look, the sentence, the sense of the same. As it was rising, it's when Mars was rising for a missile invasion. Now the distorted in the meaning, that's called a lot of redundancy here. D, can we eliminate? E, rise of the Mars as a massive Chinese missile invasion. Rise of the Mars as a massive, no, because it is not, Mars is not being so massive as a Chinese missile. So we can eliminate E. We are left with B, and B is the correct choice. Hopefully you have got whatever information you need, and please go through and like it and learn more. Have a nice moment. See you with the next question.